Hello, people, and welcome to the Gold Asteria review. Today, I'm joined by a guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, Felipe here, or you may know me as Feline Gato. Thanks for having me on your channel.
Cool. All right, so starting off, we have the jackpot. Hitomi Tsukishita, the light human. So I think after reading the news from last week, you agree that this is just a must max.
Oh yeah, definitely. The leader skill, active skill, they're actually pretty good, so definitely must max.
Yeah, even as a member, I'm like, that's just diamond but better. I even said that in the news because I think in the future, right? If there are other cards that give frenzy, then this card scales more off of that.
Yeah. Also, in terms of role consolidation, it has a lot of utility, so it helps you save on team slots. So always a good thing for a member to have.
Yeah. Okay. Now, moving on from the obvious pick, we have Wenjong, who is a pretty old card at this point. I have actually just not seen this card in ages.
Yeah, the thing with Fatal Call, they were very useful back when Skydrop was not as consistent with certain team skills, so he was very good. But now that all the leaders have their inbuilt Skydrops and ways to generate runestones, he's really fallen off and no one uses him anymore.
Yeah, I think another point is that maybe runestones didn't used to have as much the effects of each other, so transferring the draw rate of heart to water would be something really good, but now probably heart just has the effect of water if you need it.
Yeah, that's true too. So yeah, never used.
Unfortunate. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's important to just go over this, even though it's not necessarily a lot of resources, because they do give you the cards at a half trained state, but
True.
for new players or something, the amount of soul is quite a lot if you're not doing a lot of farming, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't spend it on this card when you can spend it on some other better card.
Yeah, exactly. The opportunity cost, right? Don't spend resources on a card if you can max a better card that does the same or does more than it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, next we have Doris, the fire demon. This goes in the same camp. I mean, for these are super old cards. This is just a pure converter, pretty much.
Yeah, it's it seems some play sometimes, but they're very, very situational, and there's a lot of other cards that can replace it with better effects. Also, I
Yeah,
think the meta has turned away from just conversion to explosion and removal, because that's just better.
right. Yeah, it's gonna be well, I don't know. I don't know if this card's ever going to get better actually, because it's already been power released.
Yeah, unless they virtual rebirth, but they don't virtual rebirth.
They got to get to
cards that
the
are...
end of they got the power release all the other. They got to get the end of the OC
Yeah.
of the original series, come back around, and then that would take ages if they even
Yep.
get there.
I think the only use that I can see it is that explosion or removal. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about protector runes. You can
Right.
convert protector runes, which
can.
is a use case, but
I'm thinking more of with the mainstream demon leader being Napoleon. You're never using this card in your
Oh
life.
yeah, no. With Napoleon, you're never using this card ever. Cool.
Okay. Next up is Newton, a fire human. I actually don't have this card because I think I skipped on the banner way back and he just never found his way into my inventory. That's not saying he's good because I've never seen him.
He's... At this point, he's never used, but he has the potential to be a niche support, especially with guaranteed skydrop being or enemies with a certain amount of runestone shields, like 60 fire rune shield. for certain teams, it's borderline impossible to generate that many fire runes.
Where have you seen 60 fire runestone shields? Is
Oh,
that
they
a real
have it.
thing?
Yeah.
No, I mean like not in the time when like Greek gods were mainstream.
Oh no, recently I think I think it was a Nightmare Calamitous stage. It had like conversion zones, but then it was
Oh,
like
okay,
a 3 round
right.
limit. It was a 3 round limit for the enemy to 100% HP depletion.
Right.
So sometimes these cards can be good. Also for the 15-15, like 15 water, 15 fire shields.
Right. Well, a lot of cards can solve those sort of shields, but
Yeah.
If you have
But
nothing better, then maybe.
if you have nothing better, having a card that can guarantee you 15 fire runes can potentially be good. But there's also a lot of other cards that can do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, next. Morse, light human. Okay, this is the first like mid card. I have a feeling this is just gonna be like reverse chronological order. It's like the newer the card is, it's like go up the tier. Well, not necessarily, as you might see later, but yeah.
Actually,
I think Morse is solid. I haven't seen him recently, but that doesn't mean his skill is necessarily bad.
yeah, I actually think he should max actually, because he might go well with the jackpot card from the seal.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, probably.
Because I think his skills, I think EP system skills are generally pretty good. Less so now because they have EP reset. Back then they didn't have those. But having a time tunnel that you can activate twice back to back if you have max EP is actually pretty good. I think it's activatable twice.
Are you saying like in the new jackpots team or just in general?
Oh no, actually no, sorry. But wait, having a time tunnel and conversion is actually pretty good. Having dual active skills makes him pretty flexible, and I think good for the current jackpot card.
Yeah, sure. Should max is a little well. If you have no other cards, I suppose maybe should. We can adjust this later if we want to.
True.
But yeah, I was also gonna touch on the AR skill, which like the joke is that, you know, all the light humans can ignore puzzle shield, and so he can also ignore puzzle shield. If you have any other light human, chances are they can ignore puzzle shield. But if you don't have any other options, then yeah, sure. But
yeah.
it's also just that they don't give out a lot of AR currency, so maybe you should use it on like the witches instead, which we'll get to later.
I didn't consider the AR skill, but that cooldown reduction and EP +1 actually pretty nice too.
Yeah.
For spamming active skills.
Yeah. Next up is Amber, a fire elf from Minerals. This is a fixed board card. I think fixed board cards are always just generally good.
Yeah, generally good. I would put them at mid. I don't know, how about you?
I would say like maybe mid, but just because there haven't been like recent elf leaders that can really take advantage of this.
Yep. Also,
I think in the past it was pretty good.
And I think she gets overshadowed by Sakura, who also has a fixed board with fire and heart.
That's true. Sakura with the PR now basically does the same thing.
Yep.
But better. Okay, Obsidian, also from the same series, Dark Elf. A rare unlocking card for elves.
Yep.
I forgot if there's still only 2 in existence or if they made more. It's been a while since like I looked at that list.
There are 4. Or yeah, there's a Saviera. There's a.
That's true. I forgot about that.
York. Actually, no, that's just self-release. And then the other one is the new Light Nocturne, I think. But
right.
Honestly, Saviera was released as an Ultimate Lord, and Light Nocturne, I don't think you can obtain her anymore.
No. Well, not currently. Can you? I mean,
Not
you can't
currently.
obtain Xavier anymore. Either.
Yep. So if you need an unlocking for elves, then Obsidian is really your only option if you don't have the other cards.
You have the Mad Hatter. I'm not joking about that one, by the way.
Oh,
That
yeah,
card
but-
is a legit card in the LR pass that is sometimes good because it's a prevent unlocking instead of unlocking, which
Oh yes,
is
prevent
sometimes like
unlocking.
sure, sometimes that's a useful effect. Anyway, but I think we'll put that in mid as well, just because elves are not that mainstream and there are better options. Okay. Lu Xin. Okay, it breaks
Oh,
my heart
man.
to put this guy in never used, but I think he's going in never used.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I never use him. And
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, if you can't tell already, like if the opportunity presents itself, I like to play Hideyoshi.
oh yeah.
But yeah, Lucian used to be really good in that. Now, just not at all because even Hideyoshi has built-in 50% with on the Dragonware. If you don't activate Cersei.
Yep.
And so this card is pretty much obsolete. Sometimes it's like in rare occasions, yes, but for the average player, no. I would not say this is good.
I think it's mostly a defensive skills as a whole are only useful in very rare occasions. Because
Right, I think
meta
pure
is,
defensive cards have just
Yeah.
like fallen off.
Yeah, the meta is. I think someone said this in another video I watched for another game. The best crowd control is death. If you can kill something, it cannot kill you. Which means that it applies for Tower of Saviors too, where if you can kill the enemy, it doesn't matter what they can do. You won't die.
Right, for sure. Okay, now we move on to cards that are actually good because they're newer. Or they've received some sort of buff in recent times. We have actually this is just let's just like do all of these. All of these basically are like belong in the same category. You have Ursula, Honor, and Novelist. This belongs in like the Azathoth booster pack, basically.
Exactly.
All these cards are just extremely solid. Ursula, you see maybe less than usual because damage isn't as much of a focus nowadays. But I think like even in like both forms of maybe not Novelist's other form. And by the other form I mean the form that you can currently see in tier list. But all these cards are very solid, especially if you have Azathoth or if you're wanting to like get Azathoth for all max or something. But even in general, I think for dragons, I'm like, what tier do you think they go?
Oh no, I agree with you. I think what I was gonna say is that for cost benefit, the fact that you're getting a virtual rebirth card, you're basically getting two cards for one because you can change forms. And so you're not only getting what you see here, you're also getting the other utility from the other side.
Right. I suppose that saves like maybe some resources if you're like relatively new. But I mean not really with the like birds or whatever that they've introduced. Not that I really use them, but
Oh yeah, the birds.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
where would you put these? I'm like between must max or should max. If you have Azathoth or any like dragon leader, it's must max.
Yes. If you have any dragon leader, I think it's must max. But even then, I can see them being good members in the future because their skills are pretty good. So any dragon leader that comes in the future will definitely enjoy their presence.
That's true. Okay, let's just put must max. I've seen these cards enough in teams to like make that valid. Okay, and then next we have Azazel from
Azazel.
the Chronos Gate series, or more accurately, Heroes of Dimension.
Yeah.
I have like past when it first came out. I don't think I've used this card. Maybe like sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Even when she came out, this was the Chronos Gate collab seal. And even then, you would only see her rarely as an ally or as a leader, but her stages, her active skills are not that great. They were tailored more towards her playstyle, which right now you don't use her as a leader, so her skills are not really that
No,
good.
this is so outdated to be using as a leader.
Yeah, and her second active skill has the condition that your leader has to be a Chronos Gate card, which no one uses them anymore, so basically, yeah, no one uses her.
Yeah, unfortunate, because if you see on the side, I put that up. I have 4 copies of this card. Just somehow.
I'm guessing from free rewards, right?
Yeah, just like randomly pulling from like the black gold tier or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never decompose the cards because I find it slightly funny.
Yep.
Okay, next up, an actual good card. Fei Yin. I don't have this card, and I really want this card. In the past, there have been occasions where I did really want this card, and I didn't have it.
This card is I think it's a must-have because of the utility she brings for beast teams specifically. Like, there's a lot of cards that do the same thing, but as a beast, there's actually not that many options that do what she does.
Yeah, maybe this is like more of a reflection on like how bad the beast cards are, rather than like how good this card specifically is.
Yeah.
I had a recent thought about dragons as well. It's like if these skills were put on any other race, they would be like average. But because the dragons suck, this card is good. I think it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, this is I feel this goes in must max. There have been like many occasions in the past where like I've had this. Do you think like that's accurate to put it in must max?
Yeah, I think with the caveat that you are wanting to play a beast team.
Right.
Or yeah, dragon or beast teams, because
yeah, dragons. Do dragons have restore crank? I know of one, but like he sucks because it only restores cracked below leader and ally.
Oh,
it's the one in the era of novelty.
Yes, no, there's one, but it's a black gold card. The new
the new one, does that restore cracked?
Yeah,
does that restore cracked?
Their second skill restores
I didn't pull on
cracked.
that one. Okay. Well, all right.
But it's a very oh my god. It's a very premium option.
Right. And you can't get it anymore as well.
Yeah.
That's the more important thing.
Actually, reading her skill, it benefits any other teams too. The only thing is cracked is locked behind like Dragon Beast leader, but then the death damage reflection is very useful even for non-beast and dragon teams. So I do think must max is a good place for her.
Right, yeah, that's true. Well, what do you mean? You can just use a Cheshire Cat? No, I'm that's a joke. I did use that card once because I didn't have this card. By the way,
I've why used like Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. What does Caterpillar do? That's anti-poison. That's not.
Yeah.
You're just like along the same line.
Yeah, okay. Along the same line. I back then there were not that many options, so I used a level 1 Caterpillar.
Man. Okay, moving on. Cards that back to a card that doesn't do anything. Gawain, the Earth Human from Knights of the Round Table PR. This is just pure attack. I have used this card maybe twice, but no one needs damage anymore.
Yep, let me guess, Hideyoshi team?
Yeah, back in the day, but like now it's like there are way better damage dealers, or even like damage boosters that last for more than 2 rounds.
That's what I was gonna say. There's so many boosters that are permanent, and this one having only 2 rounds doesn't justify a team slot for it.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Okay. And then 2 other actually good cards from the same series. Merlin, Light Elf. This card I think is good because of its team skill actually. Well, and the active sometimes, but the team skill mainly.
Yes, there's a lot of elf cards that gain benefit when your recovery is the same. So the fact that this card can single-handedly make your team recovery the same will benefit other teams as well.
Right. Yeah, I think there are only a handful of elf cards that have this kind of effect. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like that necessary to put it in must max, but I think it goes in should max.
Yeah, I think
Especially
should
just
max.
for like elves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Arthur. This I don't see Arthur that often, but just by like what her skills are, I'm like, this goes in must max, right? Like if you don't
Yes.
have any like other options, this is just a solid card. Especially, well, there's the jackpot bias, right? Again, like that's what we're talking about with the new
Mm-hmm.
jackpot being a light human and everything. Like
Yeah,
this card is just fixed board. Fixed boards are good, along with some additional effects.
I think the fact that you can set yourself up to get all his effects from the second active skill with his fixed board also makes it really good, because in the past he didn't have a fixed board, so it was kind of RNG whether you could get all the effects off of or not.
Right.
But now it's actually not bad.
Yeah.
I've definitely used him.
I think
for
this is like
certain
I
minor
think TOS like
stages.
gender bent Arthur, by the way. Not that I read lore. I just kind of know. Like I think in passing, I when I like did the amelioration, I'm like, okay, interesting.
Oh, you know what? You might be right. But yeah, I think I've definitely used them before. Uh, for the initial shield break in a light human team. So it's
Right.
definitely useful. Uh, and with the new jackpot card being a light human, let me see.
Well, the new
This
jackpot card doesn't necessarily like have to have
need it,
all
yeah.
light humans. You just need to have humans, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still like
True.
kind of the light bias there because
Mm-hmm.
of like some of the team skills, I think.
Yeah. I don't think she breaks initial shield, does she?
No, not
The
innately.
jackpot card, I mean. Yeah,
Not
exactly.
innately.
So it might be good to have.
Yeah. So okay, I'll just put it in must max. I think that's fine.
Yeah, if you get it.
Yeah. Okay. Back to useless. Oichi, the Pining Teardrop from Sengoku Samurai, the same series that Hideyoshi is from. This card sucks.
I've never seen her used.
No, do you remember what this card does? I mean, I think like when you look at this, you look at the skill, but before that,
I know she recovers health, and after power release, she helps with combos. But
does she actually do that? Oh my god, you're actually I didn't even remember that part. You're correct.
It's it, see, the thing is, she's useful, but there hasn't been a stage or a team that can take advantage of her.
Actually, I don't think you can say that. I think she's useless because there are, like as you said, she recovers HP and increases your combos, but there are cards that can do either better than her. Not both.
That's true.
But either, and you typically don't
yeah.
need both.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because she's CD1.
CD. Okay, I mean, that's true. But there hasn't been that kind of team that like requires you to repeatedly activate like actives over and over again for like a long time.
That's what I mean. Like, there's not a. If there comes a day where, you know how there's a accumulation round mechanic, if Madhead decides to do something with it, CD1 skills could potentially be good. But right now, I don't know. We might never see it, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, right now she's never used. But the next three.
No. All right, yeah, the next three. Once again, this is like the human booster pack. This is like the staples. You should see these cards like absolutely everywhere. It's the witches, Cassandra, Media, and Cersei. These are just great cards for their own attributes and even for humans.
Yep.
You probably wouldn't like put all three of them in one team just because that's a lot of team slots. But each of them basically do the same thing, but with a different kind of side effects. And even Cassandra's one has turned from a side effect to like a good effect because sometimes you have recovery inversion.
Oh, I hate that shield, but yes.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this just goes in must max. You can keep
there's-
talking about how good they are.
Nah, I don't think I need to. I think they're just honestly, there's not much to say about them. They're broken, and you see them everywhere. I will say though, when you said you wouldn't put them in the same team, you can if you want insane damage.
But you don't need that.
But you don't need that, right? Unless you're going for screenshot damage. But you know, in the past we did do that because it made certain leaders viable. But nowadays, leaders are already viable straight from the get-go. So
Yeah. And I guess the last point, if you were to spend your like AR currency, I think human stelly is what they call it. These would be the cards. And probably Cersei first because she increases HP. Media increases attack, and then Cassandra increases recovery. Which I find a little ironic given her active skill, but anyway.
Oh, that recovery becomes attack afterwards, so it's basically an attack bonus.
But HP is like basic. The HP is so important nowadays.
Yes, true.
Yeah. Okay, we're down to a handful of cards. We have Draco from Starburst Pulses PR. This is a card that looked good, but I tried to use it and I'm like, it's actually just bad.
Oh, interesting.
Like you have to have Novalis. You know, sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, you're good. I actually used that card a lot. I used
recently
that card
or like previously?
I just used her for this ultimate stage with Asatoth. So
did you also have Novalis or no?
No, I didn't.
Oh, maybe for quintet attack then, like because I was more like she's a quintet attack and damage booster, but there is no damage boosting. The damage boosting was very underwhelming.
It's basically if we think about it, it's like a 5 extra attacks with they're not reduced, right? So basically
they are
increases.
They're 50%.
50%. So basically, it's like a ×3 bonus for one card.
Which like sucks if you're talking about like your typical damage booster.
Yeah, but the reason I find her useful is for quintet attack for like 5 element shields.
Right.
And for extra attacks too.
Extra attacks. Well, nowadays extra attacks actually dragons just have another card. It was a pretty recent one. Was it?
Dagon?
Dagon? Yeah, that one.
Dagon's pretty good. But I think for quintet, especially if I'm running Azathoth with only water dark, or if I'm not running 5 attributes in the team, I usually slot Draco next to Nidhogg. And that way I can still have...
but Nidhogg does quintet attack.
Yeah, Nidhogg also does quintet attack. So actually, you know what? Yeah, since Nidhogg exists.
Yeah, I was thinking of like what dragons do quintet attacks in the meantime, and I'm like, you just said one, and I'm like, you can get that one like, and it's just better. You can get that one in the LR pass.
Yeah, that's true. I like the sustained effect on this one though. You get it multiple rounds.
Right.
But you're right.
Okay. Let's put it in mid. It's like
I think it's mid.
Sure.
I do agree it's mid.
Okay.
Definitely there's better options out there.
Right. Okay, moving on to another card that is worse than mid. Hyacinth from Elvis Perennials. Dark Elf. This is a converter and CD reduction, but I've never seen him used. Not even in Elvis Perennials. Since PR.
Same. I don't have much to add to it. Never used him, never power released him, never evolved him actually.
That is probably like the most damning comment you could ever put on a card. It's like, don't even have him. Oh well.
Yeah.
No, this is going in never used here.
Yep.
Okay. And then finally, the final piece of the Azathoth booster pack. It's Dowloth, also obviously from Prologue of the Universe PR. This is a staple in Azathoth.
Yes.
If you have Azathoth, chances are in the same team you're putting in Dowloth.
Yep.
I think this goes in should max just generally because if you don't have Azathoth, then it's like it's less good, still good, but not universally applicable like some of the other cards that are in the must max tier.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's like fair?
Yeah, I think point for point, I think he's better than Honor though. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah,
Honor...
just because he does have the Beast, Elf, and Dragon flexibility that he can act as a member on. And then it's a 3-round of, let's see. Actually, no. Yeah, the combo increase and the attack increase, I feel like it's pretty good. But now that I'm saying it out loud, actually maybe not.
Because I'm like, well, it's still like you can't do the direct skill comparison because Honor is a fixed ward and it's like,
yeah, true.
You can't really do that.
No, you're right.
It's like comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, actually, no, I think I agree with you. I think he should go and shoot max.
Yeah,
if
but
you
if
have
you plan to use, if you plan to choose Azathoth for all max, or if you have him, definitely.
It's a must max. Yeah, if you plan to play Azathoth as a must max, because it gives you so much benefit for that team. But otherwise, yeah, you're right. Shoot max is fine.
Okay, and then lastly, the two New Age cards that probably nobody has because they keep making the New Age cards suck.
That's a rant for another video, but I don't really like the New Age mechanic.
Right, but anyway, Abe Satoru, Dark Human, Credible Coadjutor. This card has one special point for it. It's that when it is in the team, it launches quintet attacks.
Yes.
Does that make it any good, and have I seen it? Absolutely not.
Nope.
But you can get this card now, and maybe it'll be useful if you don't have any other thing. So I don't even know how to rank this because I don't like this is exactly what I said before. I don't have this card. I've never seen him be used. Like, what do I do with this?
Oh, I have this card and I can tell you put him in never used.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Like even the active, now that I'm reading it, it's like very underwhelming. I think it's part of human cards. There are too many human cards that do too many things. And that just makes this card relatively bad in comparison.
Yeah. Let's ignore the fact that most of the collabs are human cards and collab skills are usually, good.
Right.
So, but yeah, no. Like
okay,
you said,
and last, I'll let you finish first.
Oh, no. I was gonna say, like you said, the only good thing is the passive skill that launches quintet attack, but eventually it might see play, but not now.
Okay, and lastly, we have a card that once again I haven't seen him. I don't know if anyone actually owns this card. It's the Light Human Frederick from a different. This is very recent for Tenacious Belief.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But once again, there are too many light humans. Which actually, hey, this card might go in the jackpot team if you don't have any other better cards. But do you own this card?
I do, and I have used him to clear one stage before. I would have to go to my videos and see, but I don't really remember it.
That's
used
such
him
a
once.
bad, like, once again, I don't remember this card is the worst comment you could ever give.
Yes. I remember I used him and I cleared a stage, but Madhead makes stages for the jackpot of the moment.
Right. Yeah,
So...
actually, I'm reading this, and it's like the only thing that he does in his active is like ignore initial field.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're not using him as a leader, like no shot.
Nope.
And he doesn't have any team skill. So no,
Yeah.
the heir of Excalibur is not better than the original wielder of Excalibur, Arthur, who we put in
Exactly.
Must Max.
Yeah.
Where would you put this card? This card is like either mid or never used. I think never used is a little harsh. So probably mid. Unless you want to put him in never used. Like, go ahead. Because you actually have the card.
I want to put him in never used just because there's, like you said, there's so many light humans, because light humans as an archetype is a very popular thing that my head likes to use. So there's already so much light human specific support and other light human utility that this one doesn't really give a lot.
Okay, yeah. Alright, let's put it in never used.
Yep.
Okay, and that is that. This is the tier list. If I remember, I will download it and put it in the link in the description. But yeah, hopefully this helps with how you distribute your resources if you get these cards. And yeah, thanks for coming on, Feline Gato.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And leave a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, leave them down below the video. And subscribe if you want to see more of this. See ya!
Bye, everyone.